Yesterday we did a projected offensive depth chart based on players the Dallas Cowboys currently have under contract for 2019. Today we're looking at the defense, which could still see some significant changes once the NFL draft and free agency are over. Just yesterday, Dallas agreed on a trade with the Miami Dolphins for Robert Quinn. This helped answer the biggest question facing the Cowboys' defense. DeMarcus Lawrence remains in contract limbo, Gregory is indefinitely suspended, and Tyrone Crawford now faces potential suspension for involvement in a recent bar brawl. Many expect Dallas to focus on defense with their early draft picks, perhaps adding a safety with their 58th overall pick in the second round. Any players drafted in the first 5 rounds are likely to make the roster, knocking off some of the lower-tiered players we currently have. For purpose of today's exercise, I'm going to go ahead and put DeMarcus Lawrence on the depth chart. I know he's not technically under contract and it could go a few ways, but the odds are that he will be playing for the Cowboys this season thanks to the franchise tag. By that same logic, I'm not going to include Gregory. There may be high hopes that he will be able to get his suspension lifted or reduced, but we saw him miss nearly 2 full seasons from 2016-2017 with these issues. Crawford, on the other hand, likely won't miss more than a game or 2 with his problem. We'll go ahead and put him in for now, as there's still a good chance he won't miss any time. Who starts at defensive tackle is hard to say. For now, we'll defer to Crawford as the veteran and Woods as one of the standout players from last year. But Elliott Collins and newly signed Christian Covington will compete and have every chance to get into that starting lineup. And really, fussing over starting jobs with this defense is a waste of breath. Snap counts are what really matter. Teams use their nickel scheme more during a season than their base defense. A guy like Collins may not play the first snap of the game, but could be seen more over the long haul and passing downs. There's no mystery who the starters will be at linebacker and cornerback. For the safeties, Xavier Woods and free agent George Iloka are the best bet, but nothing is certain. The draft is going to lead to some tough cuts, perhaps a guy like Daniel Ross at DT or veteran Justin March-Lillard at linebacker. At cornerback, C.J. Goodwin is a veteran who played late in 2018 but is 29 years old and offers no upside. As we saw yesterday with the offense, it's encouraging to see how filled out the roster already looks. The Cowboys could go into the season with this group and be as competitive as they were a year ago, but they still have opportunities coming up to get better. But of course, that statement gets blown to pieces if they don't figure things out with DeMarcus Lawrence. Todd Archer of ESPN and Ian Rapoport of NFL Network are reporting that Dallas Cowboys cornerback Byron Jones underwent hip surgery this week, but expects to be ready for training camp this summer. Rapoport, on the other hand, seems unsure of what Jones' availability will be for camp, calling it a wait-and-see situation. Byron Jones' surgery was described as a cleanup and he has a shot to be ready for training camp. Wait and see on that https://t.co/150Q9GZNB. Jones is coming off of his first Pro Bowl and All-Pro selections, after moving to corner full-time and having the best season of his career in 2018. Jones did slow down a bit towards the end of the season, and it's fair to wonder if his hip had anything to do with that deterioration of sorts. Jones enters 2019 in a contract year, playing on the 5th-year option from his rookie deal. Most expect Jones to be the odd man out during the Cowboys' contract extension bonanza over the next 2 off-seasons, but Jones certainly earned himself a big deal with his play. Byron Jones has not missed a game during his 4-year career. The Dallas Cowboys and Miami Dolphins have reached agreement on a trade for veteran defensive end Robert Quinn, pending a new contract being worked out between Quinn and the Cowboys. According to Ian Rapoport, the two sides are negotiating a 1-year deal for Quinn to come play in Dallas. He had 1 year left on his current contract with Miami. Sources: The There are still minor issues to work out with Quinn's agent, but for 2019, Quinn was scheduled to make $11.8 million in base salary. The Dolphins are looking to save that in this trade, dropping his cap hit to just $1.1 million in dead money. Given the savings for Miami, what Dallas is giving up in this trade could be minor. This deal allows the Dolphins to get a little something back for a player they'd have otherwise probably released. Adding Quinn, who has had 15 sacks over the last 2 years, gives the Cowboys a great potential sidekick for DeMarcus Lawrence at defensive end. It also helps lessen the blow if Dallas is unable to finalize a long-term deal with Lawrence, perhaps then seeking to trade him away or facing a holdout. While the 2019 offseason is far from over, the first few waves of free agency have come and gone. With player movement starting to slow down, it's a good time to take stock of who the Dallas Cowboys currently have under contract and what a projected depth chart looks like. It helps us see where the team may be focusing their attention in next month's NFL draft. The Cowboys' offense seems mostly settled for 2019. While I do expect Dallas to add at least one more running back, one could argue that the team could make no additional moves and head into the season with the guys they already have. With the Randall Cobb mitigating the loss of Cole Beasley, Travis Frederick's return, and the hopeful development of Michael Gallup and Connor Williams in their roles, the Cowboys might already be stronger than 2018. But that doesn't mean they're going to pass up opportunities for further upgrades. For now, though, we have who we have. So, what might that depth chart look like if the season started today? Most of this is irrefutable, particularly in the starting lineup. The biggest question mark there is if Jason Witten starts consistently at tight end or is more of a rotating player with Jarwin or some drafted rookie. But for now, we'll defer to the legend. At backup quarterback, Cooper Rush and Mike White will likely duke it out for the backup role. There's a solid case to be made that the loser of that battle might not make the roster at all, freeing up a spot for some other position. But for now we'll keep 3 QBs, since that's what the Cowboys have done in recent years. Again, I don't expect Dallas to go into 2019 with just Darius Jackson and Jordan Chunn behind Elliott. I wrote more about what the team might do at backup RB earlier this week. I expect someone will be signed or drafted that bumps them down the line, and likely one of them off the team. The offensive line is also fairly certain. I gave a spot to Ettinger as the most intriguing player of the other backups, but Dallas may not even keep a 9th lineman. Fleming covers both OT spots and they have great depth with Looney and Suafilo inside. If the team doesn't keep that 9th offensive lineman or that 3rd quarterback, we could easily see those spots going to a 7th receiver or 4th tight end. Dallas likely won't want to cut Schultz even if they draft someone new. And even if they don't, perhaps they want to give Rico Gathers one more try. At WR, the Cowboys could go long with 7 in the interest of retaining either Lance Lenoir or Cedric Wilson on the roster. That said, if Dallas does only keep 23 to 24 offensive players, there's nothing that says those extra spots won't go to defense. So no, there aren't big question marks still facing the Cowboys on offense. They have a solid group already in place and may only do minor tweaks between now and September. But it's a good exercise to take this snapshot and see where the opportunities are.